All right, shalom. Shalom, shalom. Before getting started, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, hopefully elect. All right, and just through the Spirit. I'm going to go ahead and start off with this in Malachi chapter 3, starting at verse 1. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. But who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire and like fuller's soap. All right. And again, all praises to Yahweh Shema Shab. All right. All praises to Yahweh Shema Shab, because hey, in that day, through the spirit, power, grace, and mercies of Yahweh Shema Shai, the elect are going to be able to, humbly yet stand boldly before Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, when it's all said and done, when these prophecies are in full effect, and I mean as far as Jacob's trouble and the MOTB and the judgments, the destructions, the calamities. All right, and again, it's all through the grace, mercy, spirit, and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, because at the end of the day, we don't got it. All right, and through the spirit, that's why I just wanted to start off with this, because it said I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me. And Lord, when we're of that number, all right, this is what we're being made ready for, man, to be able to withstand in that day. All right, to stand boldly, complete faith. When all this shit comes crashing, all right, the elect, they're going to have hope. And even more so, the scriptures talk about that lively hope. You see, man. Because again, the spirit is going to be on us, Lord, wonder what our number. All right, the spirit is going to be on us. All right, we're going to be in a good case, man. Basically, like I said, because just through the spirit, I literally I was actually trying to gather up a few precepts for another topic, but I kid you not, literally like 5 minutes ago, the spirit got on me to do this real quick. All right, for those that need to hear this, to whom this may concern. All right. Because again, when all this shit comes crashing down, and it comes as we approach that hour of temptation, which is going to be our darkest moment. As the scriptures tell us, that our temptation is going to befall every man, woman, and child, man. But again, Lord, when we're being prepared, we're being prepped to be able to withstand that, and to be able to withstand in that day. And believe it or not, the spirit is going to be with us again, Lord, when we're that number, to be able to endure. All right, because hey, more and more we're coming into the straight gate, and with that being said, more and more shit is going to get tough. It's already tough. Things are already tight. I know a lot of us are already feeling the squeeze. We're feeling the pinch. But hey, in these moments where, because over the past 3 years, man, it's been some of the toughest moments being in the truth, I'll say. I heard another brother, the brother Mahaloya, out there in GMS Kansas City, the head brother out there. He mentioned this sometime last year, and I can wholeheartedly agree, Because last year alone, I could say, you know, like I said, I got it from him, and I can agree. Last year was one of the definitely one of the toughest years being in the truth and just in general, man. But with that being said, hey, you know, it's going to get tougher because look where we're at now. You know, the Lord has us here. You know, he's been getting us through it. He's going to continue to get us through it. So, you know, and in those dark moments, in our darkest moments, hey, the Lord is going to come through as he's been doing, as he's doing now. You know, and if we continue to push in faith and in sincerity, then hey, you know, the Lord's going to continue to do, especially when it comes to our darkest moment, you know, which is that hour of temptation, man. The Spirit is going to be with us to be able to deal with whatever it is that we got to deal with, right? You know, because hey, I'm gonna read Malachi 3:2 again. It says, "But who may abide the day of his coming, or who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire and like full of soap." All right, and hey, again, through the Spirit, power, grace, and mercies of Yahweh Shema Shah, the elect are going to be able to stand in that day. All right, the elect are going to be able to stand in that day, man, because this is going to be a day like no other. Right? It's going to be a day like no other, man. You know, but with that being said, on the contrary, to all these other people, man, listen, it's almost scary just thinking about it. As far as, you know, because we understand the fear of the Lord. You know, like the scriptures say, through the fear of the Lord, we persuade men. Listen, we're trying to, and that's another thing, because out of fear, we do what we do. You know, as far as trying to warn our people, man, like, listen, man, look, you know, but at the end of the day, we can't, you know, we can't convince these people. You know, we're not in the business of persuading. You know, it's just like, hey, you either take it or you don't. But at the same time, it's just like, man, listen, you know, we are trying to emphasize the seriousness of this thing, man, because this is it's about to get real dangerous, extremely dangerous, crucial. It's a matter of life and death. You know, so nevertheless, again, the Lord, he's going to give us a spirit, man, Lord willing. In our darkest moments, as things get tougher and tougher, you know, and we have more of those moments where it just looks like, man, this might be the end of the line, man, you know. Because, you know, we all get those moments every now and then. We all get those afflictions from time to time. It's just like, man, shit, this is it for me, you know. I don't think I can go no more. I don't think I can go no further. Well, hey, the Lord, nah, get back, you know, get back out there, you know. And you see again, because those moments are going to be they're going to become more and more intense, you know, like a woman in travail, you know, she's having those birth pains and, you know, she's having those intervals, right? You know, those contractions, each contraction when it comes in, it's more magnified, it's more intense. And hey, that's just how it's going to be for us and the world at that, whether you believe in this or not. But the difference is the Lord is going to give us the spirit to be able to endure, right? So with that being said, I forgot to mention, because again, call halal Yahweh Shemal Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. All right. And I forgot to mention the Rakakwadash, all right, going into the those angels, man. You know, the spirit of the Lord, those angels that perform the duties of the Lord, man, you know, that pretty much, you know, get everything done. The angels. All right. Because I want to get a quick example, man. In Matthew 4:11. I'll start at verse 10, Matthew 4:10. Then saith Yahushua unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt not worship the Lord thy power, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. All right, so those angels, man, those ministering spirits, which I'm going to get. All right, because, you know, Yahushua being our greatest example, you know, there's been times when Yahushua was tempted, he felt weak in the spirit, low in the spirit, right? Well, you know, Those angels were right there to minister unto him and give him strength, gird him with strength, and likewise us. All right. In those moments, hey, the angels, they're gonna be there for us, with us, comforting us, giving us strength, giving us everything that we need to endure. So I'm gonna get this real quick in Hebrews 1 in verse. Hebrews 1 in verse starting at 13. But to which of the angels said he at any time, sit on my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool? Because that title was only given to Yahushua ultimately, right? But talking about the angels, right? In verse 14 it says, are they not all ministering spirits sent forth to minister for them who shall be heirs of salvation? So you see, man, to the saints, to the elect, all right. Lord, wonder what that number, the angels that ministering spirits unto us, the heirs of salvation. You see, so in those moments where, like I said, it's just like, man, I can't go no more. I can't do this no more. Right? Well, hey, the angel's gonna be right there. The Holy Spirit is gonna be with us. Those angels, those ministering spirits are gonna be right there to lift us up, to comfort, to guide us, to strengthen us, to give us everything that we need to be able to endure those dark moments, man. So, with that, it comes with a comforting mindset because, sometimes we think about the worst case scenario and how it might play out in our minds, right? But that's why we just have to let it all just, we have to just let it all go, man, and just let Yahweh Shema Shai, let Yahweh Shema Shai be Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Because again, in our minds, we think worst case scenario and how am I going to do this and what about, my wife and children, but don't worry about it, man. The Lord's going to somehow, some way, he's going to work it out for his elect. All right. And even in that case, going back to the whole point of this video, man, even in that case where it's just, you're caught up in a jam, right? You're caught up in a jam, you're in a particular situation, because some of us are going to get separated from our families. Some of us are going to get taken with our families to these, internment camps or whatever you want to call them. Right. And whatever happens, happens. But the point being that the Lord, whatever happens, the Lord's going to give you the spirit to endure it. And again, those angels, those ministering spirits are going to give you everything that you need to be able to deal with it. All right. So even if you're in one of these internment camps and, they got you strapped down, they got your wife strapped down, children strapped down, and they're about to torture you to death in front of your family, or they're about to torture your family to death in front of you. Whatever the case may be, you just got to know and understand, trust that the Lord, is going to be all right. And it's easier said than done. Because, again, we're in the flesh, so, but like you read about the account with Stephen, how he was getting stoned, right? But nevertheless, we don't really need, it's not an account where Stephen, he felt any type of pain, any type of misery, right? No, man, it's mentioned in the account. He looked up and he saw Yahweh Shema Shai, man. He saw Yahweh Shai sitting on the right hand of the Heavenly Father while he's getting stoned. So it's safe to believe that, Stephen, he didn't feel no pain, right? You read about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, how they were in the furnace of the fire, right? Not a hair on their head was burnt, right? Well, Yahweh Shai, he was in the midst of them, right? They didn't feel no pain, right? I'm going to go ahead and get this account real quick because, again, whatever the case may be, the Lord's going to give you the spirit to endure it, man. You just got to believe that. Because oftentimes the scenario that we play in our minds is worse than, what it actually is. So don't worry about it, Jake. What does the scripture say? What did the Lord tell us? Hey, be still and know that I am. Just Lord's telling us, just chill, man. Just chill, Jake. I got you. Don't worry about it. But I'm gonna get this in a second. Maccabees 7. We're to get to the point where the mother was trying to talk to, I believe it was the last son. after, you know, the other brothers were brutally murdered, right? And when it came down to trying to convince the last son to, hey, just give in, right? Well, 2 Maccabees 7 verse 30 says, because, you know, Esau, you know, he was trying to tell the mother, like, listen, hey, convince your son to just give in. And, you know, and though the mother gave the son a different speech, right, while she was in the midst of talking to him, 2 Maccabees 7, I'm going to read I'll start at verse 29. Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take thy death, that I may receive thee again in mercy with thy brethren. While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, whom wait ye for? So while she was in the middle of trying to, you know, just, you know, uplift her son and give him encouragement, hey, you know, this last son, he was just like, hey, man, what are you waiting on? Yeah, and that's the spirit that we're in right now. It's just like when it comes to Esau, it's just these top week releases, like, what are y'all waiting on? Do what y'all got to do already, man. Hurry up, for crying out loud, man. Because we want to hurry up and get this shit over with. Do what y'all, you devils, do what y'all do what y'all got to do, man. Because we're ready to go home, right? It says, the young man said, whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandment, but I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses. Right? So jumping down to verse 37, it says, for our brethren who now have suffered a short pain are dead under God's covenant of everlasting life, but thou, through the judgment of God, shall receive just punishment for thy pride. But I, and again, because these brothers, man, they suffered a brutal death. You know, they were murdered brutally, but there's no account where they actually went through the pain. You know, they suffered any type of pain, right? Because let me see if I can find this real quick. Where it talks about how you know, when the righteous perish, and I'm roughly paraphrasing, but when the righteous perish, you know, to the in the eyes of the unwise, you know, it seems like they die horrible deaths. Because again, some brothers are going to be taken into these internment camps, getting beheaded, and to those that don't believe, man, they might be looking like, man, you know, they what a horrible way to go. But nah, man, you know, the elect, they're fine. They're going to be all right, right? If I could just find this real quick, because it makes me think about John, you know, John the Baptist, how he sent, because John the Baptist, he was locked up for some time, and you know, word of Yahushua and the miracles and everything that he was doing was starting to get out. And, you know, John the Baptist, he sent out some of his disciples to Yahushua and is like, basically asking Yahushua, you know, are you the man? You know, because John, he was prophesying, he was basically speaking on Yahushua, speaking about Yahushua. But here it is, here it is, John, the same man that he was, you know, speaking about. All right. Here it is, John, he's in a prison, and we can only imagine what was going through John's mind, because John, you know, Yahushua didn't visit him in prison or anything. He's just, you know, John, again, we can only imagine what was going through his head. Like, damn, you know, is this the Messiah? You know, I'm just sure, speaking as a man, there was a million thoughts going through John's mind, man. But hey, Yahushua knew that John was going to be all right. He's going to be okay, because hey, John, he eventually died in prison, right? He was expecting to get liberated, freed, right? You know, I'm sure in his mind he was like, "Oh hell yeah, this is the Messiah. I'm about to," you know. John thought he was about to get out. He's about to be released, but no. Time went on, because again, it wasn't like John was in prison for a few days or a few weeks. No, he was in there for some time. But here it is, you know, days, weeks, months are going by, and it's like, what the hell's going on? You know, is this not the man? You know, but Yahushua knew that John was going to be all right. All right, and as an example, because hey, you know, that was one of those dark moments for John. You know, and it's like that for all of us, man. It's just, you know, we have those moments, just like, man, you know, like, damn. Yahushua, he had his dark moments, especially when he was on a cross, right? You know, hey, it's tough, man. It's tough, but again, whatever it is that we got to endure, whatever it is that we got to go through, the Lord's going to give us the spirit to be able to endure it. Because just like John, Yahushua, and all these other great men that we read about, hey, you know, the Lord knew that they were going to be able to handle it. The Lord knew that they were going to be able to deal with it. And, you know, we look at some of these accounts like, God, you know, like, shit, man, fuck that. But, hey, it's coming a time for us where it's just going to be like, man, I can't, you know, I can't do it. You know, I can't do this. Well, hey, yes, you can. Yes, we can. So, in Wisdom of Solomon 4, Wisdom of Solomon 4, I don't think this is it, but I'm going to read it anyways. In Wisdom of Solomon 4, verse 16. Start at 16. Thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the ungodly which are living in youth that is soon perfected, the many years and old age of the unrighteous, for they shall see the end of the wise and shall not understand what the Most High and his counsel have decreed of him, and to what end the Lord hath set himself in safety. No, that's not it. But like I said, in the eyes of the unwise, all right, to those that don't know, because you know, you just had a beloved brother, man, pass away, you know, a few weeks ago. All right, and if you know the brother's testimony, you know, hey, over the past few years, I've been following the brother, you know, and the brother was going through it, you know, to the point where, hey, one of his last videos that he did before he passed away was going into how, hey, like I said, the brother, you know, he was going through it, you know, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, you know, that felt this way, but I kid you not, a few minutes in the brother's testimony, man, I broke down. I broke down in tears. You know, I broke down in tears, man. You know, because hey, brothers are going through it. Brothers are suffering. You know, and you know, like a few days later, or maybe a week later or so, hey, you know, word got out that the brother actually passed away. Well, hey, again, I shed tears again. But it wasn't out of sorrow. It was out of joy. Because, hey, the brother, his suffering's over with. He's, you know, he's good now. That's comforting. Because, like I said, you've been following the brother, man, you know, over the past couple of years. Hey, you know, you see his testimonies. You know, hey, the brother's, his suffering is in. You know, he finished his race. He finished his course. You know, and Lord willing, hey, we're going to see him again. You know, no big deal. Right? Well, I mean, it's easier said than done because, again, to the unwise, you know, hey, you know, what the hell are these guys talking about? But, you know, you can't expect these people to understand what we understand. You can't expect these people to know what we know, man, and understand. Right? But speaking of, I'm going to get this in Acts 21. Because they have that type of mindset. Hey, it's the spirit, man. It's the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. Because the scriptures say that the elect love not their lives unto the death. We listen, hey. And that's why I read in the account of Maccabees, or Slaki, I don't think I finished it. Let me go back to it. Wisdom of Solomon. I'm sorry, Second Maccabees. I didn't finish it. Second Maccabees 7. Because hey, this young brother, man, he was ready to go. You know, like I said, he was like, hey, well, what you devils waiting on? I'm ready. Do what y'all gotta do. That's why we're in the spirit of hastening, like Yahweh Shai. You know, hey, what did he tell Judas Maccabees? You know, to roughly paraphrase, hey man, hurry up and do what you gotta do, man. You know, just you know, because like I said, we're ready to get this shit over with. Just do what y'all gotta do, make your moves, right? But the Second Maccabees 7 in verse 37, it says, "But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers, beseeching the Most High that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation, and that thou by torments and plagues mayest confess that he alone is the Most High." So that was the point, being that he said he offered up his body and his life. He was ready to go, you know. He was ready, you know. He was ready to go because these brothers, they understood that, you know, they weren't for the most part tripping, you know, because they understood that. And this was a time where our people understood reincarnation. So they knew, you know, that, hey, man, we got to pay for what we did, whatever we did in our past lives. You know, we got to pay for it. So, you know, this young brother, man, he was ready to give his life up. And, you know, because, again, that's a special spirit from the Lord, man, to just be willing to just, hey, because these people, they don't understand the concept of death. So when it comes to the concept of death, they're, you know, they makes them afraid. You know, they're terrified. They, you know, when someone's on their deathbed, they start, you know, for the most part, reminiscing and, oh, I want to see Jesus and, you know, regret everything. You know, nah, man, hey, the elect, listen, the hopefully elect, we're ready to go, because we know this is not the end all be all. Death is not the end all be all. And especially if you're martyred for Yahweh Shema Shai, you know, if you die for Yahweh Shema Shai, hey, man, if you're going to die an honorable death. You know, take your death like a man. Die a manful death, man. Die for Yahweh Shema Shai, you know. So I'm going back to Acts chapter 21, verse 11. It says, matter of fact, verse 10, it says, and as we tarried there many days, there came down from Judea a certain prophet named Agabus. And when he was come unto us, he took Paul's girdle and bound his own hands and feet and said, thus saith the Holy Spirit, so shall the Jews at Jerusalem bind the man that owneth this girdle, and shall deliver him into the hands of the Gentiles. And when we heard these things, both we and they of that place besought him not to go up to Jerusalem. Then Paul answered, what mean ye to weep and to break mine heart? For I am ready not to be slacking, for I am ready not to be bound only, but also to die at Jerusalem for the name of the Lord Yahweh Shai. So you see, hey, Paul was ready to go. You know, Paul was ready to go, man. When it came down to Paul to term himself, and he didn't run from the law. He wasn't a fugitive or nothing like that. No, he was ready to go. He turned himself in, and hey, you know, he was ready to go. Because hey, the Spirit was with him to be able to endure that lot, man, to endure his lot. You know, and again, that's the thing, because whatever our lot is, hey, you know, the Lord's going to give us a spirit to be able to endure it, to be able to deal with it. Those angels, the Holy Spirit, those angels, man, they're going to be right there with us to give us whatever it is that we need to be able to endure, whatever it is that we got to endure, whatever it is that we got to go through, our lot, man, to bear it. The Lord's going to give us a spirit to bear it, to deal with it. Right? So you see, man, Paul was ready to go. He was ready to be offered up. And that's why I want to read this in 2 Timothy 4 and verse 6. It says, for I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. So you see, all right, hey, you know, Apostle Paul, he was ready to go. You know, because like I said, when it comes to this whole concept of death, and, you know, people really be bugging out, and, you know, Jake be bugging out, man, when it comes to the concept of death. Jake be bugging out. You know, but hey, even if it comes to that, for some of us, the elect, hey, the hopefully elect, whatever it is that we got to go through, might not necessarily have to be death. But like I said, you might have your rib, your children, right? You know, and all y'all might be getting tortured to death. Well, hey, put your trust in your Yahweh Shema Shai. He might give you the spirit to where y'all might not feel no pain. You know, y'all might not feel any type of pain. Or it might be a quick death. That's mercy in itself, to die a quick death. You know, because some people be dying slow, painful deaths, man. And hey, but if you die a quick death, man, hey, that's mercy. You know, so just keep these things in the back of your mind, because, like I said, a lot of times, worst case scenario plays out in our mind, and a lot of times, man, what we think, how we play things out is worse than what it actually is, man. So don't worry about it. At the end of the day, Yahweh Shema Shah, he's going to give us a spirit to be able to endure whatever it is that we're going to endure, whether it be seeing loved ones getting offed. You know, like I said, you might be getting strapped down. You might be about to get tortured, and, or might come to being beheaded, right? Whatever it is, man, the Lord's going to give you the spirit to endure it. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and get this. I saw it on the comment board about the Hebrew Israelites, Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure to the end, Slakia. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. And that's what this thing about it, man. It's going to be a fighting to the bitter end for some. It's going to be a fighting to the very end. So, and that's the thing. The Lord, he's preparing us to have this type of mindset. All right. It's a certain mindset that we have to develop, man, because, hey, again, it's going to be fighting to the very end. So Lord, one of this is edifying. All praise to Yahweh Bashim Shai. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, hopefully elect.